I'm Dave Borrett, and I'm faculty here in the paramedic program at Century College, and I've been here since 1998, having finished up a 40-year career at Allina Health EMS this past July. I just finished up that career, and now I'm finishing up about a 23-year career here at Century College as faculty in the paramedic program.
I don't have to like hold. Oh, okay.
What is that?
I was born and raised in Minneapolis, and right out of high school I joined the military, and it was right toward the end of the Vietnam War, but I spent my deployment over in southern Germany, and I was in a division of the Army called the Army Security Agency, and my job was collecting intelligence and collecting things like intelligence in the form of Morse code and teletypewriter intercept. So I had to have a top secret clearance for that, and I spent about 2 years in country in southern Germany. It was really quite excellent duty. Well, I returned from my deployment in Germany, and I didn't have a career goal in mind, and a local chain of banks was holding free CPR classes, so I went with a group of friends and learned how to do CPR. And that was being taught by some local paramedics, and the medics that were teaching it thought I did a pretty good job and suggested I take an EMT class. So I did, and enjoyed that, and my career kind of snowballed from there. And part of that was that I signed up for and spent about 10 years with the Hennepin County Sheriff's Water Patrol. And those duties involved law enforcement on the rivers and lakes of Hennepin County. And during that period is when I attended paramedic school. And so I graduated from paramedic school, and midway through my paramedic career is when I started doing some teaching. And that's how I came back to Century College from where I graduated, and here I am. The roots of my teaching really go way, way back, actually, into high school. When I was going back to my original elementary school and volunteered as a tutor, and I was helping kids that were struggling with math, like 6th graders struggling with math, and helping them bring their math skills up. And the teachers there were some of my former teachers, and they were encouraging me to go into teaching. They thought I'd be a really good teacher. So that was sort of planted in me early on. And when back to having the CPR class and the EMT class, I had the opportunity to become a CPR instructor. So I took those courses and then started teaching CPR. And I was really enjoying the teaching of the CPR, got very good at that. And the more and more I was teaching CPR, I just enjoyed instructing. And so when any teaching opportunities came up, I took them. When I graduated from Century College here, early on, I was invited to come back and help with courses and help testing students out and prepping students for their National Registry exam and getting ready for that. So I've really been associated with Century College from early on after my career, or rather after my graduation from here. Teaching has taught me that I'm very good at explaining things in the classroom and in the lab. And I have seen that in the actions of my students as they move from the classroom into the lab, and they're able to carry out some of the skills, and when they're able to express their knowledge, say, in a written exam. And the other thing is when I'm practicing as a clinician in the field, because quite a few of my years I was a clinician along with teaching. So when we were teaching cardiology, when I was out practicing as a clinician, my cardiac skills were particularly sharp. And so what that simply means is that the best way to be your very best clinician is to be a really good teacher. The thing that I like the most about teaching is to see the students go through this metamorphosis over this very short period of time, and to see this remarkable change as they come to us as EMTs and very bright, very smart, very eager, and watch them go through this change and this switch that comes on when they really become paramedics. And usually that turn takes place somewhere around cardiology. And that's probably true in most programs, but it's very distinct here. As they push through cardiology and their critical thinking skills come together and their pharmacology comes together, their EMP comes together, and their multiple complex tasks they're able to do. And it really all comes together and they suddenly turn into paramedics during cardiology. And that's really phenomenal to watch. For anyone thinking about getting into this profession, I would strongly urge you to take a good pass at it and give it a try. And before you approach school, I would strongly urge everyone to get a couple of years of college behind you first. People that are coming to us with a couple of years, say a 2-year degree in anything, would go a long way. People that come to us that know how to attend college and know how to study do very, very well. My advice to brand new medics getting out into the field. So I want to talk about a guy named Jeffrey Mitchell. He's a former paramedic and now a PhD, and he was a psychology instructor out in Maryland. And he wrote the book on critical incident stress in the EMS industry, and he had something in his book that he called a negative thread that ran through EMS. And this is something that's prevalent today. And it's, you get to work and somebody starts complaining about something, and it transfers off to another person, and it spreads through everybody like something toxic or a cancer or something, and suddenly the whole department has this negative attitude and morale is bad. And it's just this thread of negativity that runs through EMS, and that's what he called it. And I would like new people to be aware of that and just to avoid it. And if they're around partners, new partners, mid-career, old partners, and just to avoid that and recognize it and steer clear of it. And find partners and coworkers that have positive attitudes and that care about their patients. And number one, keep up your education, work toward an advanced degree, think about more advanced careers down the road, and that sort of thing. But just work very, very hard at avoiding this thread of negativity and stay very positive. And to all my novice medics out there just getting out into the field, regarding your patients, find out everything you can about your patient that has nothing to do with their clinical condition. So if you're a medic that's been out in the field for a while, you're in the middle or maybe the second half of your career, to remember that you're a role model to the new people coming in to the field, and to avoid again the negative attitude that you've recognized in your work partners, maybe in yourself, and to know that that spreads to the new people and to avoid it whenever you can, and not to spread that around. And take a more active role in advancing the career. Consider that it's not too late in life to start working on that degree you've been putting off, and do everything you can to make the best part of your career even better. Work on continuing education, work on additional certifications, maybe get into critical care, and re-energize your career. There's flight paramedic, critical care, community paramedic, and a number of other things you can do to re-engage in EMS and just to avoid any kind of burnout. And you can have a really, really great career. And the other thing is, let's all remember that we don't meet people on the best days of their life. And you have to know that going into this, that you can have a long, long, happy career without post-traumatic stress. I worry an awful lot about people getting into the career having convinced that they're going to get PTSD, and you don't have to get PTSD. You can have a nice, long, happy, healthy career and not get PTSD. You're going to meet people on very, very difficult, awful days, and then you have to sleep that night and get up tomorrow and do another shift, and you can do it. It's very, very doable. As an instructor, and particularly in this field of work, I have been very, very fortunate to have landed in a career where I have been very, very happy. I worked on the street for a long time, and then I combined that with teaching, so I was doing both at the same time. And to my wife's credit, one day she said to me, teach more, you come home happy. And so I transitioned more over into teaching, and she was sure right about that. All right.
Okay. So
Make that last thing work.
well, I think we can because talk to
Dude.
Davis when you're answering questions.
And keep a straight face?
Nah. I'm the whole time I'm going to be looking.
Maybe
at
you should
going,
put your mask back on.
I'll slowly lick my lips.
Oh gosh.
Oh, God. Okay.
Let me double check.
And again, sometimes they just don't even know what happened. So that's really, really, really something to watch.
That's pretty good, pretty concise.
Yeah,
I think.
Is it true?
You're probably one of
Yeah,
the.
that's true.
You're
Is
probably
it,
one of
huh?
the-
That's very true.
Yeah.
I was so stressed, and then I'm like, oh, I can actually.
Oh, when did that happen? What did he do to me?
Exactly, exactly.
Well, and I mean, it's clear that you obviously.
Where's Doug?
I'll tell you this is
I'm a
probably.
paramedic now.
Yeah. You probably want to deal with that later.
You want me to just move my lips for a minute and then you can dub it in?
Yeah,
Or
like a bad Japanese
We'll
movie.
probably be doing photos. Yeah, no, that's fine.
they say if you just repeat the word remarkable, you can dub anything in there.
I always say that if you're going to do something where there's